미디어 프로젝트 15주 1차시 강의를 시작하겠습니다. 기하급수적 기술 발전을 이코노미스 관점에서 살펴보도록 하겠습니다. 관련 동영상을 보겠습니다.
This gentleman was traveling on our favorite airline, United, and he received his guitar broken. So he wrote in, he called, he asked for repairs, he asked for a new guitar. He didn't get anything. So he wrote a song about it and posted it on YouTube. In the 3 days following posting the video on YouTube, it went viral, and the market cap of United Airlines dropped by $150 million. In this latest episode, when the doctor was dragged, the market cap dropped by $450 million.
한 젊은이가 유나이티드 항공 비행기를 탔다가 기타가 부서지자 화가 나서 유튜브에 노래를 올렸습니다. 바이럴로 수많은 사람들이 보게 되자 회사 가치가 1억 5천만 불이나 떨어졌습니다. 최근에 한 의사 승객이 거칠게 끌려나갔을 때는 4억 5천만 불이나 가치가 떨어졌습니다. 이제는 소셜미디어가 바이럴을 통해서 기업에 미치는 힘이 엄청나게 커졌습니다. 여기서 젊은이가 어떻게 노래를 불러서 센세이션을 일으켰는지 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Plane departed Halifax, connecting in Chicago's O'Hare. While on the ground, a passenger said from the seat behind me, "My God, they're throwing guitars out there." The band and I exchanged a look, best described as terror, at the action on the tarmac, and knowing whose projectiles these would be. So before I left Chicago, I alerted 3 employees who showed complete indifference towards me.
The point here is that our assumptions about how economies function no longer seem to hold true entirely because of exponential technology. So we need to revisit some of these assumptions and think about how economies function, how businesses function, and what our individual strategies should be. I call this exponential economics or exonomics.
이제는 기하급수적으로 발전하는 기술 때문에 이코노미와 비즈니스가 다르게 기능하는 경우들이 많습니다. 이제 그것들을 다시 정의할 때가 되었습니다.
And this is going to be a journey where we talk about the 7 pillars of economics. We're going to talk about people, property, production, price, power, policy, and prosperity.
엑소노믹스는 exponential economics를 뜻합니다. 이것은 위에 언급한 7개의 기둥으로 되어 있습니다.
And I'd like to point out that this is a journey that connects people to prosperity. And that is very much the spirit of what we're discussing here. Let's begin with people and how technology is empowering us to do things that we could have never done before on our own.
테크놀로지는 우리에게 이전에 결코 할 수 없었던 새로운 능력을 줄 수 있습니다.
You're about to watch an accident. Please don't be alarmed. Nobody died. But have a look and we'll talk about what happened just before the accident. So this is a dash cam of a Tesla that is automatically braking. I'm going to replay the video. This time we're going to pause when the first beep, the first alarm is sounding.
이것은 테슬라의 대시캠인데 자동으로 브레이킹을 합니다. 어디에서 빕 소리가 났는지 다시 들어보도록 하겠습니다.
Does this look like an accident to you? It doesn't. This is entirely 1.7 seconds before the actual accident happens. The car is modeling what's happening 2 cars ahead.
테슬라 알람은 사고가 나기 1.7초 전에 울렸습니다. 어떤 일이 일어날지 미리 예측할 수 있었던 것입니다.
And it's saying, no way they're going to be able to stop, and it's preventing that accident. This is technological empowerment and technological protection. Now, a little bit of bad news. there seems to be strong evidence of unequal exposure to the benefits of technology. If you look at net productivity over the last 40 years, you see the steady rise. But if you look at real hourly compensation, it's quite flat.
벤 뉴스는 테크놀로지의 혜택을 동등하게 누리지 못한다는 점입니다. 파란색은 생산성이 계속 향상되는 것을 보여주는데 빨간색인 보상은 정체 상태에 있습니다.
And this gap, which is quite problematic, it means that people are unequally exposed to the benefits of technology. This gap is in fact correlated with the Gini coefficient, which is a measure of inequality in a society. My nightmare scenario is that this could potentially lead to species bifurcation. This is where some of humanity starts evolving very differently than the rest of us.
이것은 species bifurcation, 종의 분기를 가져올 위험이 있습니다.
And early access to some of these technologies could change the course of human evolution. So are we headed towards exponential inequality? Potentially. This is something that we need to pay attention to. This chart shows average household income. And you see the top 1%, they're seeing that exponential growth. The rest of the 99%, not so much.
평균 가계 소득을 보면 1%는 기하급수적으로 소득이 늘고 있고 99%는 크게 증가하지 않고 있습니다.
This is Stuart Butterfield, who founded Slack. And with a group of 12 coders, this is the active user growth that they saw over the course of a year and a half. In fact, this is not it. Have a look.
이것은 18개월 동안 슬랙의 유저가 기하급수적으로 증가하는 것을 보여줍니다.
So this is truly a hyper-exponential growth curve. This was never possible with a small group of people. There's a dip for the holidays, and then it picks back up. Truly amazing. In terms of technological empowerment, we're also seeing the rise of nanoeconomics. What I call nanoeconomics is really the fact that technology is allowing us to measure incremental economic value creation better than ever before. We have macroeconomics, microeconomics, and now we're seeing nanoeconomics, which means you can hire people on these platforms and many other for less than $5.
경제에서 또 다른 중요한 점은 매크로, 마이크로보다 더 작은 나노 이코노믹스가 중요해지고 있다는 점입니다. 기술의 발전으로 아주 작은 이코노믹 밸류 크리에이션을 측정할 수 있게 되었습니다. 플랫폼을 만들어서 사람들을 $5 이내에서도 고용할 수가 있습니다.
The smallest unit of work has shrunk. And this is great. It means that more people can behave entrepreneurially and be exposed to the upside and also the downside of the market.
이러한 변화는 사람들이 다양한 방식으로 시장에 참여할 수 있는 기회를 줍니다.
All these technologies also have a downside. Have a look at this video and we'll discuss.
이러한 변화에는 안 좋은 점도 있습니다. 비디오를 보고 이야기하도록 하겠습니다.
Today, I would like to talk about
Change
because
change is
what we are
looking for
and
We have changed.
absolutely everything.
Mind blown.
We're changing the way
people
Communicate.
we've been changing
the way the world is
Connected.
connected.
We changed the way people are sharing.
Stuff.
We build
Incredible.
exciting, awesome, amazing products and incredible devices.
But honestly, the biggest
Change.
Change
Of all.
is we make people give us all their data. Data.
Why?
Because we told them our amazing products are for free. But in fact, all this will cost them the most important thing, their data.
The journey has just started.
The good news is that
Today, we know everything
about what
everybody. We will be using all this
information.
data to make them awesome,
Incredible.
a lot of
money,
and it should be shared across government.
was hoping you're going to like that.
It's fascinating to watch Europe and the US respond very differently to this question. We're awakening to the reality of how much data is being gathered about us. And Europe has taken the legislative approach, whereas in the US, I fully anticipate class action lawsuits.
사람들은 이제 우리에 대한 데이터가 모여지고 있다는 것을 알게 되었고, 유럽은 이에 대해서 입법 조치를 하는 반면에 미국에서는 소송을 준비하고 있습니다.
But the question of who owns what is a good segue to talk about property. I'd like to start this segment with a question for you. What do these three things have in common?
다음의 세 가지가 어떤 공통점이 있는지에 대해서 질문을 하겠습니다.
They sit idle more than 90% of the time. So the question is, what can you do with that 90%? And the answer is, of course, the sharing economy.
공통점은 90%가 아이들 상태라는 것이고 대답은 쉐어링 이코노미입니다.
These are some of the platforms where you can share different things. And if you look at the common denominator across all these platforms, they're enabling people and companies to share things, services, and time that they have in excess and that they're not utilizing.
이것들은 서로 다른 것들을 쉐어링할 수 있게 해주는 플랫폼들인데 things, service, time을 쉐어링할 수 있게 해줍니다.
So I encourage you to reflect on your own organization and ask yourself, what are the things, services, and time that is underutilized? And how can you share those? By the way, if you go through that exercise and you find that there is no platform to do that, build it immediately.
여러분의 조직에서 무엇이 사용되지 않고 있고 그것이 쉐어링될 수 있는지 생각해 보시기 바랍니다.
That is an immediate market opportunity because chances are other companies pretty soon are going to be looking for that opportunity to share things, services, and time. Quiz number one. If the world's largest retailer does not have any inventory, what is it that the world's most disruptive insert your business type need not have?
퀴즈 문제로서 여러분의 비즈니스에서 없어도 되는 것이 무엇인지 생각해 보시기 바랍니다.
What are the things that we hold to be core to our business that in light of exponential change might no longer be as necessary or even relevant?
현재는 여러분 비즈니스에서 핵심인데 기하급수적 변화에서는 더 이상 필요가 없게 된 것이 무엇인지 생각해 보시기 바랍니다.
I did this exercise with a group of bankers. It took us about an hour, but the group emerged that money no longer seems to be the core asset for banking. You need to have the infrastructure for the flow of money, but not so much money itself.
은행가들과 이런 엑서사이즈를 했더니 돈의 흐름을 다루는 인프라스트럭처는 중요하지만 돈 자체는 더 이상 코어가 아니라고 이야기를 했습니다.
Quiz number two. If cars are going to be driving themselves and we can Uber them whenever we need to, what could this potentially do to real estate prices?
두 번째 퀴즈는 우리가 자율주행 자동차와 우버를 이용할 수 있게 되면 부동산에 어떤 영향을 미칠까 하는 것입니다.
The moment people don't mind living 5 or 10 minutes further away because their time spent in the car is productive, they can read, they can rest, they can watch that movie, then the supply of viable real estate goes up. Demand is the same, and we could see downward pressure on price.
사람들은 5분, 10분 정도 더 먼 거리에 사는 것을 개념치 않게 되면서 부동산 가격이 떨어지게 될 것입니다.
How many people have tried a virtual reality headset? Wonderful. I think by the end of next year, all of you will have highly recommended. But virtualization is giving rise to an entirely parallel economy with entirely new asset classes. But first, let me tell you about the home theater of the future.
미래에 VR을 사용한 티어러가 어떨지 보도록 하겠습니다.
This is a device that you mount when you're wearing the goggles, and it adds the fourth dimension, which is the G-force, the feeling that you get when you're actually moving in these virtual environments. So as the car is turning, you begin to sense what that feels like.
자동차가 코너를 돌 때 시각적인 것뿐 아니라 체감도 느낄 수 있습니다.
This is Planet Calypso. which is a virtual planet that was created in an online game. The planet, a couple of years ago, was sold for more than $6 million. Sounds like a very stupid investment. However, consider this. More than 100% ROI was realized in less than a year.
온라인 게임에서 플래닛 칼립소는 600만 달러에 팔렸습니다.
Are we paying attention to this? Are these new types of asset classes on our radar? So, in summary, property dynamics. Ownership seems to be going down, virtualization is on the rise, decentralization is on the rise, asset values seem to be compressing, and production costs seem to be going down.
현재의 추세는 오너십과 에셋 밸류, 프로덕션 코스트는 감소하고 버추얼라이제이션과 디센트럴라이제이션은 증가하고 있습니다.
If all of these are true, then we're headed towards a very serious oversupply scenario. And depending on which industry you're in, chances are you already feel the pressure from oversupply. Which begs the question.
우리는 지금 오버서플라이를 향해서 가고 있습니다.
How do you create value in this new world? I have 3 recommendations. These 3 recommendations pivot around technological empowerment and the need to hyper-customize. Number 1 is, I encourage you to reflect on any product or service and ask yourself whether the virtual, digital, connected version of it exists. If not, go build it. That's an immediate business opportunity.
가치를 창조하는 세 개의 드라이버입니다. 첫 번째는 어떤 프로덕트나 서비스를 보고 그것에 버추얼, 디지털, 커넥티드 버전이 있는지 생각해 보시기 바랍니다.
We also talk about Uberization of many different industries. The fact that people want what they want exactly when they want it. Just-in-time delivery is a key mode of value creation.
다음은 우버라이제이션입니다. 사람들은 자기가 정확히 원하는 타이밍에 프로덕트와 서비스를 받기 원합니다.
And hyper-customization, this is my favorite.
하이퍼 커스터마이제이션은 하이퍼 퍼스널라이제이션과 유사한 의미로 사용됩니다. AI, 실시간 데이터 혹은 3D 프린터 같은 기술들을 사용해서 주문자 맞춤형 프로덕트와 서비스를 구현하는 것입니다.
By the way, this guy's 3D printed version looks better than himself. That's a reality that might be fast approaching. How many people have played with origami? Excellent. It's a Japanese art form, paper folding. It has very elegant mathematics. A company in New York used the same mathematics to 3D print a dress. And this is fascinating because not only can you decide what the dress looks like, you can also add an extra dimension. You can decide how it moves, something that we were never able to do before. A great example of hyper-customization.
3D로 프린트된 패브릭은 모양뿐 아니라 움직임까지 디자인해서 하이퍼 커스터마이제이션을 구현합니다.
Another way that value is being created is through what I call swarm economics, the fact that a large group of people can come together, accomplish something, and then disperse and go on to other projects. On the web, the best example of this is crowdfunding. Eric Majikowski created the Pebble Watch, which is the granddaddy of the Apple Watch, the Samsung Watch. He was ahead of all those guys.
밸류 크리에이션의 또 다른 방법은 크라우드 펀딩입니다.
On Kickstarter.com, he pre-sold $10 million of his prototype over the course of 5 weeks. That was not enough. That was 2012. He came back in 2015 with a second version, and he raised $20 million in funding on Kickstarter over the course of 5 weeks.
그는 5주 동안에 프로토타입 시계를 만들기 위해서 1,000만 불을 모금하는데 성공했습니다.
But that is not the record. The record for crowdfunding is with Star Citizen. It's also an online game that hasn't shipped yet, but to this day, they have raised $137 million. Here's what they do. They actually have raised this money, and they ship small modules of the game. And the community gives feedback. They're playing the game, and it is a great model of co-creation. They're developing the whole game together.
한편 스타 시리즌이라는 온라인 게임은 크라우드 펀딩을 통해서 1억 3,700만 불을 모금했습니다. 관련 동영상을 보도록 하겠습니다.
You can be slaving on a game for 4 or 5 years and no one's seen it yet. 3 or 4 years in, you're just like, is anyone even going to like this? Whereas here, the game's not finished yet, but we know that's not the case. We already know we've got, several million people that have signed up.
It's a big open world multiplayer game, and so it took a village, right, to bring this together, and the community's right there alongside it with us.
Star Citizen's this wide open universe that you can do all kinds of things in it, whether it's ships, whether it's fighting on foot. There's so many different things to do.
You can have thousands of other people that are also playing in it. We're constantly adding content, we're constantly adding features, and it's just growing and evolving.
You can stop right there. I mean, it's easy for you. Please now. Thank you.
How would you like me to start? Should I do the, oh, hi? We want our characters to be actually living in our planets, right? Or living in the moons, to actually have a life in the game. And for us to make them feel genuine, we have to build a culture for every single one of them, right?
When I'm playing a game, I want to get lost in the world. That's sort of the suspension of disbelief, which people talk about, say, in films. And that's sort of my goal, is to sort of structure this universe in a way that people can do all sorts of different things. I don't want them to feel like they're doing something that they can win and lose at. I feel like they're just escaping to a different world or a universe.
In 2012, space games were dead. You couldn't sell a space game anywhere.
There's definitely no way that a Activision or an EA or Microsoft would just say, yeah, just go take, 5-6 years and, here's a blank check and have fun.
So they went crowdfunding and it exploded.
Hi, I'm Chris Roberts. Ever since I saw Star Wars as a wide-eyed 8-year-old, I dreamt of being a hotshot pilot saving the galaxy or a lovable rogue making my way across the cosmos.
I think we're aiming to do things differently. We're trying to disrupt as much as we can. We have the opportunity to engage our community as we build this stuff, and we get to ask them kind of what they want from us.
Truly inspiring. Here's another way that value is being created, and this is a bit counterintuitive. I'm going to play a song for you and then pose a question.
The traffic jam down on the ground, like they need to know when man. Please, mother, drive me again.
All right. Who wrote that song? An AI did. A machine wrote that song. I couldn't tell.
또 다른 밸류 크리에이션의 예로서 인공지능을 사용해서 이러한 음악을 만들 수도 있습니다.
So Sony has a research and development lab where they fed 13,000 songs to an AI. They made the poor thing listen to 13,000 songs. And by the end of it, the AI could generate music. And in fact, this year they're set to release an entire album that the machine has created. So this is a mode of value creation that bypasses humanity altogether.
소니 R&D 팀은 AI에게 13,000개의 노래를 들려주게 했고 그 결과 이러한 노래를 작곡할 수 있었습니다.
Now the question is, are we prepared for that?
문제는 이러한 변화들에 대해서 우리가 준비가 되었는가 하는 점입니다.
Moving on to the next P of the 7 Ps, this is the world's most famous graph. Supply, demand, the intersection gives us what? Price.
이것은 경제학에서 가장 유명한 그래프입니다. 서플라이와 디맨드가 주어지면 그 인터섹션에서 프라이스가 결정됩니다.
Not anymore. Not anymore. Thanks to the fact that the marginal cost of supply, the cost of creating one more unit of product or service, has gone down, some would argue all the way to zero.
그러나 이제 이런 그래프는 더 이상 맞지가 않습니다. 그 이유는 디지털 세계에서 마지널 코스트가 0에 접근하고 있기 때문입니다.
You can price discriminate. And the entire area under the supply curve is beginning to be serviceable.
이제는 price discrimination, 가격 차별을 통해서 서플라이 커브의 밑부분이 서비스가 가능해졌습니다.
That means you should dynamically price your product or service.
이러한 것은 프로덕트과 서비스의 다이내믹 프라이싱이 가능하게 합니다.